this is Cat High, Giveaway Songs, Native American Issues and Arts. Welcome to our show. Today we have a very honored guest. We have Alvino Siva from the Mountain Cahuilla people, and we have Emily Wolfson from the Autry Museum of Western Heritage. They're here to talk to us about the community stories outreach kits that the Autry Museum offers to school groups to learn about different communities within Los Angeles. Alvino, I'd like to welcome you to the show. Heyung Limalio. And please tell us a little bit about your family and the Cahuilla people.
The Cahuilla Nation was a big nation. Within the tribe, or the Cahuilla tribe, we had 3 different dialects in it. And although we were all Cahuillas, but one dialect, we couldn't understand it. Some of it we could understand. It was a little similar to the one. The Cahuilla that I'm speaking now is the Mountain Cahuilla language. But the other 2 dialects are gone. The people, just like my language is going now, people don't care whether we lose their language or not. And so those 2 dialects are gone. There was the past Cahuilla, which was one of them. They called them the Wanakee Cahuillas. They had their dialect. That's gone. And the other one is the people down at Palm Springs, which they call themselves now the Hot Water Indians, Agua Caliente, which is what means. But they were known as Cahuilla. Cahuilla means the fox people. They had their own dialect, see? And now it's all gone also. There's no one recorded them, no one noted them or anything, so it's gone. So this is the way my language is going now. The Cahuilla, the Mount Cahuilla dialect. When I grew up, that was all that was spoken at home was Cahuilla, our language. My mother didn't speak English. My dad did, but my mother didn't. So when we came home from school, that's all we spoke was Cahuilla. That's how we retained it. I think what really ruined our language was when the World War II, when they broke up the homes, and a lot of the Native Americans either remained in the service, or when they returned back, they used their VA money and so forth, and went into something else and got away from the reservations. And this is how I think we lost our language. Now, although I know that we have the best opportunity right now, there's so many casinos going, which they could say, all right, let's get a cultural center going where we can teach the language, whether it's Serrano, whether it's Luiseño, whether it's Cahuilla, because all of them are losing it. And this would be great. This is what I would like to see. So I'm just working on it myself, trying to get my little garage converted into a classroom where I can teach the language, because there's a lot of children right now that have come to me and they want to learn the language. And these are youngsters, not their mother or father that want them to learn, just the youngsters themselves. Because now they're finding out they are a nation of their own. Right now, before that, they were, I guess they were with the mainstream, like the government wanted us to be, with the get back, and that's how they forbidden the kids from speaking the language in school. But now they know that they had their own language, they had their own culture, so they want to learn about it now.
Well, we have a long history of having our culture kind of ignored, and you were telling me something about when the Europeans came, and you wanted to say something about...
Yes, when they came, when the European Americans came, and which I don't understand really, there were really new wars where we fought and we lost our land. They just took it. But when they did that, they didn't want to say, well, we want to know the people that live here. We want to work together. What they established was the little schools, little Catholic schools where the kids went to, and this is where when the language was beat out of them, see. Still now they don't know what the Indian people, so this is starting here all of a sudden. Emily's starting it here, that so the people will know a little bit about the Indian people, but really it's not real unless you mix with the people, the Indian people, to see really how a person is. You know, Well, like the old general said, which one was a shared, and somebody said the only good Indian was a dead one. See? And a lot of people believe that because when something is written down by a general, you know, they will, we believe what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask Emily now about her outreach kits because, as you said, it is so important. Now is a really good time because we're being able to learn more about that. So, Emily, welcome.
Thank you.
And tell me a little bit about the Autry Museum and the outreach kits.
Well, the Autry Museum started the Outreach Kit program, which is based on one of our galleries in the museum called The Spirit of Community. It looks at the 8 most prevalent communities that settled the West at the turn of the century, according to the census at that time. And what we really try to do at the museum is to show people that the West was not just a cowboy, place, that it was all different communities and people working together and people with their own identity. And so we've done that. We've put together kits on those different communities, and we decided to do one on the Cahuilla Indians, and we profiled the Silva family because they are the elders and the keeper of so much of the information about the Cahuilla people. And Alvino's father, Juan Siva, was an important figure at that time, the turn of the century, in the Cahuilla people. And so we use his story and the Siva family story as a window into that time period and into the Cahuilla people so that people can understand the Cahuilla Indians and Native Americans of Southern California by real stories of real people from that time and real people of today. And so that's why we do the Community Stories Outreach Kits.
I know you have community outreach kits on several of different communities that are found here in Los Angeles. I've seen the Chinese American one.
We have Chinese, African American, the Cahuilla Indian. We're working on one on a European immigrant, which is a Jewish man that settled here in Los Angeles. We'll do Mexican American, Mormon, Canadian, and then European.
These are based on actual families.
Right, real family stories, so that it's not just an abstract story about a people at a time. It's real stories, real people, to give the children a real window into the West, a real look at that time and those people, and so that they can relate to the people, compare their own community with those communities. It's been real valuable in the schools.
Mm-hmm. I know that the schools have basically only taught that the Chumash were the only Indians in Southern California, so it's really wonderful to see the broadening of the knowledge about who the people of Southern California are.
You know, there's something that what they really should do to really straighten things as to what happened to all the Native Americans, not only here in North America, but South America and up into Canada, all the way back, let's say from the Patagonia all the way up, and all the islands off there, like starting from Puerto Rico all the way there. One time there was all Native Americans on those islands. What happened to them? People don't want to say what happened to them. They don't want people. The kids should be told as to what they did to us. And even here in California, what they did to us in California. And I know who was that they had a documentary on it. The man that played in the Dances with Wolves, he had a documentary on the Californians. He did nothing. He didn't say nothing about the California Indians, is what they done to them. And this is what I like the people to open up and tell the Americans what we did to the Indian people, like they're doing now with what the Germans did to the Jewish people. And they were worse, what they did to us. When Christopher Columbus discovered, supposedly, the Americas, he went back and went to a pope, and he said, we have these native people on these islands. What can we do with them, or what? He said, they're not humans, so they cannot own anything. So that's why they killed us all.
I know the doctrine of discovery stated that we had souls that could be saved, but we weren't quite human. But now we come up here, and this whole educational component on the Cahuilla people really, I think, is wonderful in showing the intricate and complex ways that Indian people have related to this earth that the Creator gave us. And Emily, if you could maybe talk about the different categories of things that the teachers could find in the kit, that would be really useful.
Well, teachers can come to the museum and they can check out these kits from the museum and take them into their classroom and have a variety of hands-on replicas and materials to share with the class. Everything in the kits are completely hands-on that the children can touch and look at and smell and feel. And I think that that's really what helps them to relate with that time. We have objects in all different categories of the Cahuilla Indians and the Silva family. We included things on the bird songs, including a bird song rattle and a gourd, and we have some of the seeds that filled the rattles, and that was because of Alvino and Catherine's commitment to the bird songs. We have lots of different herbs and remedies, and we talk about them a lot because Alvino's mother was a medicine woman, and so we included a lot of things in the kit about that, as well as a variety of cultural items like mortar and pestle and some games. We talk about baskets. We have a basket start and a bone awl and a basket in the kit. We have a variety of books and videos and tapes, all sorts of things that the children and the teacher can use to teach the children about the Cahuilla people.
You know, you're talking about the bird songs, and I have a little clip that I videotaped at the Autry Museum when you and some of the young men who are learning these songs from you came and performed, and then he talks a little bit about the gourd rattle. I think we're going to go to that first, and then maybe when we come back you can tell us what are the bird songs, okay?
Give me that rattle, let's see.
We're going to go to the clip first.
Okay, go ahead then.
Yeah,
All right.
and then when we come back,
Okay.
okay? So we'll go to that.
Okay, I am Alvino Siva. I'm a Mountain Cahuilla from San Diego County. And
My name is Emily Wolfson. I'm the school services manager here at the Autry Museum.
when I was growing up, I was so little, yet I hadn't gone to the ceremonial house where they were doing all their dancing. Prior to going there, we used to move to Banning in the summertime to harvest the fruit. My mother would work at the cutting the apricot peaches, and so my dad would work picking the peaches and stuff. And there was a village right at the Gilman Ranch. There's Indians from all over were there. The Saniers, the Serranos, the Cahuillas, the Comillai, they were all there to work for this Gilman. And on Friday nights, the bird singers would get together. There was about 2 or 3 different groups. And they start singing these bird songs. And I got involved. I'd go over there and sit and listen to them. And I started dancing and singing with them. And then they would also have peon games going. They'd have card games going, everything. This was on a Friday, and also on Saturday we'd have that. And this is how I got hooked on these bird singing and dancing. So when we went back to Palm Springs, my mother said, next time I'll take you when we have the ceremony there in Palm Springs. That's when I made my little rattle, and I went over there with him. And the old people were really tickled that I was interested, because I was the only kid. There were no one, all of them were grown. They were singing. Even the time when I went into the service, I was already 20 years old, and I was about the youngest. There was no one else. And that's why Joe Potencio kind of took me in to continue after he was gone. See? But it's convincing the young ones that it is important for them to learn to carry it on. Just these three boys here, and that's all. Because I still don't consider myself as a bird singer. Because I remember when Joe was still living, then people would call me and say, we would like for you to come and sing for us. And I said, no, you better call Joe, because he was still living, and he was the person that should go out and sing. Yeah. But that was the traditions that I followed, which it isn't followed anymore.
Right. So what do you think is the importance of sharing all of this information in this outreach box with the students here in Los Angeles?
I think it should have happened years ago. You know, the people never really wanted to know the Indian people. And this show these now to these young kids, well, they'll open the kids up, hey, they were Indians, you know, they were just like us. We were growing up, same thing. So I think it's going to help.
Tell me a little bit about the gourds and the gourds for the rattles.
Paya, as we say this in Cahuilla, paya. These things are ancient. I think that the people that studied our music, anyway, that's why we don't use the drums. This was the first instrument that we played, and this was it. I think the drums and other things like the clapsticks and so forth came after the gourd, and we never changed. We still use the same thing that we used from the beginning. Paya, from way back when we first went into the atmosphere and moved, and we sing with paya. A lot of species of these darn things. Some of them you can eat when they're just turning green, you know, and some of them you can't. And I found out that the species that I like, it's not like this one here. It's sort of a little oblong, a little bit oblong. It has a better sound. This has got a pretty good sound. Pat says it's too noisy. But I make this thing here that's so smooth inside that you can just get one going around by itself. Then you go up and on. And what makes difference too is a lot of people don't realize that is the handle, the wood that you use in this thing. Now this is soft wood that's here. This is cedar. Because if you sing all night and you're doing it all night, you know, you can get tired. So we try to get away from the heavy handle, which like oak or mesquite, and they're real dense. The wood is that it gives a better sound, but it's a little heavier. I think I'll make one with that just because I don't sing all night anymore, but it gives a real good sound. And you can tell the difference when I make several handles of mesquite, this cedar and maybe some willow, and I'll try each one and put it in there and I'll play it. And when you change the handle, you can tell the difference from the soft wood to the hard wood.
Welcome back to Giveaway Songs. Alvino, we heard a lot about the gourd rattle, and we heard one of the bird songs, but what are the bird songs?
The bird songs came way back from with our creation stories. When Mukut, who was our creator, was killed, and when this happened, the Cahuilla people killed our own creator because he was toying with us and inventing games where we were killing each other. So the people got together and said, we're going to have to stop him or he's going to kill us all. So this is when they decided that they were going to witch him. The shaman was going to kill him, and they did. So when he died, after he was cremated and everything, they cremated him and everything, and I'm just going to add this onto it, where they had cremated, there's some weeds came out and things, and people didn't know what it was, so they chased his spirit, the Muka spirit, and they asked him, "What is that's growing where we cremated you?" And he said, the corn, even that's my teeth, and the beans that are growing there, that's from my kidneys. And he named all the vegetables that where we eat now, that was in there where they cremated him. But when this happened, the Cahuilla people sort of, because he held us together, he and the Moon Maiden, and the Moon Maiden was gone. So we dispersed, we left. So the older people said, we can't have this. We're going to have to go out and listen to the people talk again, and bring the people that are talking Cahuilla, we'll bring them together again. And this was done, and they brought them back together, and we supposedly have got into the atmosphere, and we went around this continent 3 times, and we were landed here in Southern California. And these bird songs that are so-called bird songs tells the story of the movement of the people, way from the beginning. And when we sang these songs, we'd sing them all night, and it tells about the movement, tells about the good times, it tells about the bad times, it tells about the weather, it sings about the birds, it sings about different animals, everything that is in these songs. And it's sung in sequence. That's what we would start in the evening about 7 o'clock, and we'd finish when the sun was coming up in the morning. But it's gone now. I don't think it'll ever be sung again in sequence, because we don't know what follows what. Some of them I know that what follows what, but not all of them.
That's wonderful, and I think it's important that these young men that we saw are learning that tradition and passing it on even to their little ones, and that just touched my heart to see that little one looking up and
Yes.
learning those songs. So teachers can contact the Autry Museum to take one of these outreach kits to their classroom and spend a period of time with the objects, with the video, with the tapes, and learning about them. How do they do that?
Well, teachers can contact me or the outreach office, and they can reserve a kit, and it's $25 rental for a 2-week period of time that they get a pre-visit packet that's sent to them beforehand, and then they come to the museum and pick up the kit, which includes all of the objects, the hands-on objects in the kit, plus the books and the video and the tapes, as well as this manual that comes inside. And the manual has background information on all of the objects that are in there, plus various lesson plans and resources to use in the kit. All of the lesson plans are directly related to the school curriculum, so the teachers can use that in their classroom. There's also photographs and primary documents that are in the manual as well. And so they can check out the kit for 2 weeks and use them in their classroom. And all they do have to do is contact the Autry Museum. We'd be happy to get them for them.
Wonderful. So there are units on basket making?
There are lesson plans on the baskets and the different kinds of baskets and uses of baskets. There's a lesson plan on the different plants that were used, as well as food preparation. The kids get to grind acorns and learn about how to make We Wish and what the purpose of We Wish was. There's a lesson on bird songs where we produced a video with Alvino in it, singing the bird songs and teaching the kids about the bird songs, and they get to make their own rattles and then learn how to shake them with Alvino. We have lesson plans on the games and how children long ago learned of education. Their education was learning through games, and how that changed with the boarding schools. And so there's all sorts of lessons about the different aspects of the Cahuilla people and the Siva family.
That's wonderful. I'm so happy that you and your sister have come out to share that information. You know, it's hard to find culture bearers and elders who are willing to really put themselves out for the public like you and Catherine have, to share that information. And
the Autry Museum's been very fortunate to work with the Siva family and get the support of the Cahuilla people.
Yeah, I think I learned that we should pass on what we know. Although if it, not to the Indians, but somewhere else, anybody that's interested in this, I stopped at Fort Hall Indian Reservation in Idaho, and they were losing their language. And when I was told that there were 6 old ladies that are still living that knew the language, and they refused to teach the rest of them the language, they just said let it die, which I think is wrong. I think it's wrong. A lot of our sites, our sacred sites, some of the elders don't want it revealed, and so how are the youngest one going to learn about it if it's not revealed? We're going to have to reveal it. This is what my thoughts are on it.
I'm from that school of thought also. I'm an educator, and I do this TV show because I really think it's important for all of the earth and all the earth's children for us to get together and share this information again, because I do feel it was given to us and it's there for a purpose, and I'm so happy you're here.
I'm trying to work through with Yule Hauser on the California Gold. See, I have to talk to the Lusania Indians, and of all people, McCanthon. There's one site down there that I would like Yule to videotape for his program, but the Lusania are against it, and so is Catherine. They don't want to show this. But I think I may persuade them to change their minds on it, because I want the kids to see what our people thousands of years use, what's there that I want them to see, what they use it for. We really don't know what it was used for, but I have a good idea what it is.
Well, I'm so happy that you came today, and I want to thank you.
I was happy to be here.
And thank you, Emily, and I hope that you get a lot of teachers and students learning more about the Cahuilla people of Southern California.
Thank you.
Thank you. Turning it again to Giveaway Songs, Native American Issues and Arts.